order for good communication to exist, what's a very important component of good communication? Good listening. Yeah. We only listen at 25% accuracy. Yeah. All the while Nellie is talking to me, I'm missing 75% of her message. Why? Because when most people listen, they do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent of, how will I reply? You must be listening for the feeling of what people are communicating. Now I'm going to show you how that works. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little extra credit. I want you to learn how to communicate with women. Janine comes in to Jose, first thing, 8:30 in the morning, and says, Jose, I can't believe it. It is cold and raining out there. I watched the news last night. They said 75 and sunny. You can never trust the weatherman. I am dripping wet. I had to park all the way out in the parking lot, about 400 yards. I was lucky to get the last spot. I am dripping wet. I wore my cashmere sweater. It's a wreck. My hair is a mess. I wore open-toe shoes. I am freezing. Gentlemen, help Jose out. How would you respond? Here's what men have a predisposition to do. Do you need a towel? Do you want to go home and change? Don't you have an umbrella? One guy at a workshop said, did you look out the window before you left? See, gentlemen, you weren't listening empathically. Men have a genetic predisposition to want to fix you. We are fixers. But you see, that did not answer a question. It answered a question that was not asked. She did not come in and say, I'm so damn stupid, how do I dry off? But that's what we answered. So in order for Jose to listen appropriately and empathically, he just has to check in. Sounds like you're upset. If you're wrong, she will correct you. No, I'm just disappointed. Really, in what? Well, the company should give us heated covered valet parking. Now you know how she feels. Now, ladies, you got to learn how to talk to us. Yeah. Yes, Charla. Men want to know what you're going to say. We want you to say it, and then tell us what you've said. Yeah. And we would prefer if you numbered the main points. So let me tell you what that sounds like. Hey, Max, we need to repave the company parking lot. Let me give you 3 reasons. Number 1, not good for the employees. They're wrecking their cars. Number 2, not good for our customers for the same reason. Number 3, not good for our image in the community. Therefore, I recommend we repave the company parking lot. Now, ladies, did you notice what I had noticed? For the first time this morning, these guys are focused. They didn't even blink. I look at blink rates. He didn't even blink. They're not shaking their feet. They're not spinning their pens. Why? Because this is the way they want to hear it. We are list people. You got to give us a list. You send your husband or boyfriend to Costco, all you want is toilet paper. He comes home with $2,000 worth of stuff and no toilet paper. You got to give him a list and pin it on him. Now, I am flawed. I've made mistakes. Do you believe that? Hard to believe, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know what happened. As I mentioned, I went on this cruise with my wife, and I don't know, I must have had too many margaritas. So we're going out to dinner, and I opened the cabin door. I mean, I'm doing my job, right? As she walked out, she said, "Are you going to wear that shirt?" I don't know what got into me. Where were you, Barbara, when I needed you? I said, no, I'm going to wash the boat with it. What the hell do you think? Oh, my God. Oh, my. Dinner was very chilly that night. Everybody had hot soup, Barbara, not at my table. What did she mean, ladies? Then tell us. You must tell us what you want. When she said, are you going to wear that shirt? You know what went on in this pea brain of mine? It's on, isn't it? Tell us what you want. And keep telling us. One time is not enough. Now, here's your problem, ladies. You overestimate our intelligence. You think we're supposed to know. 10 feet before you get to that door, open that door, we'll knock your kneecaps out. And when we get in there, pull that chair out. And keep telling us and keep telling us. Now, by the way, we will grumble. Who cares? Why do you let that bother you? I don't know what's wrong with this shirt. I've had it for 30 years. All of a sudden. But he'll change it. What did she want? What did I do? Begin with the end in mind. You look over at him and you say, honey, what are you thinking about? He says, nothing. And you get all pissy. What do you mean nothing? You got to be thinking about something. I just don't believe this. How could you sit there and not talk? You just don't want to talk to me. All I'm doing around here is clean your little snot-nosed kids, clean the house. I am just a house, and you got World War III. Ladies, you overestimate our intelligence. He was thinking about nothing. He told you the truth. A good friend of mine, Mark Gungor, he says that we all, men, have thousands of little boxes. Little boxes. And every one of those boxes, compartments, has something in it. But there's one box that has nothing in it. And that's our favorite box. We love that box. Whenever we're not doing something, we immediately run to that nothing box. Now, ladies, you can't understand it. Because you know why? I'm sorry, you don't have a nothing box. It was not issued to you. So therefore you say, how could he be thinking about nothing? Very simple. See, ladies, you all have these boxes. They're all interconnected. Which is why, gentlemen, get over your testosterone. Women are better multitaskers than are men. Men can really only focus on one thing at a time. Women, on the other hand, can focus on multiple things at one time. If you want to ask your man to be engaging in conversation, you must ask him an engaging question. Your name, sir, is? Steve. Do you live nearby?
About 30 miles.
30 miles. And how long have you lived here? All your life. And do you work nearby where you live? Married?
Engaged.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And when is the big day? May. That's it. This is guy talk. We're bonded. Yeah, we know each other. He's my best friend. But what if I was a woman? Why are you mad at me? Can't we have a conversation? I don't understand it. What do I have to do? See, he told you exactly what you asked him. Because men are left-brainers. If you want to have an engaging conversation with a man, you must ask him an engaging question. How was work? Fine. Did you go to lunch? Yeah. That's not an engaging question. Let's try this one. Steve, what was the challenge you had at work today and how'd you overcome it? Let me tell you what my boss said. You won't believe this guy. Like a fish jumping on a hook. You may have a conversation with your wife or woman friend in the kitchen. And she walks out and goes up to the bedroom. Gentlemen, that conversation's not over. Stay tuned. She's still talking. But what happened, now she comes down. You haven't heard a word I said. Well, what do you mean? You walked out. No, she was still communicating. See, where did the man go as soon as she left? Right to his nothing box. She may have walked out of the room, gentlemen, but she's not through communicating. Harvard did a study, and they determined that those couples that had one drink a night, and it doesn't have to be alcohol, before the start of dinner, algebra, the nightly activities, that those couples that had that 15 minutes of time alone was better for the relationship than those that didn't. They further determined that those couples that had 2 drinks, 20 to 30 minutes, again, it doesn't have to be alcohol, was even better than for their relationships that only had 1. Now, I live in Palm Springs, and my wife, whenever I'm home, I travel a lot. We have a little ritual, go out, the weather's nice, have a glass of wine. So I told her, if we had 4, she didn't buy it. How many of you play golf? Give it up, Tom. It's an evil sport. Tom gets a foursome up. He's going to play Saturday. Man, he can't wait. He's looking forward to it. He comes home on Tuesday night and says, Mrs. Tom, I'm playing golf Saturday. He goes out, has a great game of golf, comes home. He's all Budweisered up, $20 bills hanging out of his pocket. And he says, Mrs. Tom, you won't believe what a great game of golf I had. I left Brian out there. He's still crying. I went 4 under on my handicap. And Mrs. Tom says, why, you rat. You were supposed to take the kids to soccer practice. They had to go get their back-to-school clothes. All you thought about was your selfish self and that stupid game. And Tom said, but I asked you if I could play. Did he, ladies? Yes, he did, ladies. You weren't listening. Men never seek permission. Do you expect this temple of testosterone and machismo? Charlotte, can I play golf Saturday? Why don't you just neuter him on the kitchen table? It's not going to happen. We would rather beg for forgiveness, but we are never going to seek permission. Why do you think we don't ask for directions? My wife and I go through this all the time. We're going to a restaurant, it's 3 miles away. She said, did you get directions? I don't need them. I could have got them on Google for you. We're right around. She said, but we've been on the road an awful long time. I got a shortcut. But we're in Iowa. When Tom came home and said, I am playing golf Saturday, Mrs. Tom must say, wait a minute. The kids have to go to soccer practice. You have to take them back to shoes. And because he is a strategic animal, he will figure out how to do all 3. The secret to relationships, I'll share with you right now, whether it's at work or at home. Roles and goals. Know what your roles are and what goals you're pursuing. But let me be a man.